Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Art of Creation Homestead. My name is Jason, and we're out here on Sunday. It's gonna get rain. It's been raining. Actually, we haven't had really rain in 3 weeks, but we had a little rain today, so we gotta get this done in between rain, actually. But we had an incident yesterday, I think it was. Angela and I were out somewhere, and I was driving, and I've become a very patient driver for the most part because I have failed at being a patient driver in the past and realized that it's not the other person's fault. Typically, it's my own. If there's an issue there, and it's not their problem, it's my problem. And so I've become a patient driver because of my own fault and because of my own inadequacies of like leaving for work late and then getting mad when somebody else is in the way. Well, they didn't do anything wrong, I did something wrong, right? So, and it doesn't pay to be upset behind the wheel. But we got out on the road, and it's a very busy part of town, and we were driving, and I'm just going along, and the person behind me is fine. I notice them in the rearview mirror. I'm very observant. I see how they're acting. They were fine. They had no issues about it. They didn't seem aggressive in the slightest. Well, the person in the lane to our right did something stupid. All right, so I'm slowing down to get into a turn lane. They kind of come over. They cut the guy off behind me, and then they kind of slow down and straddle the dotted line, the white dotted line between us and between the two lanes, and do something stupid. And as I get in the turn lane and see them go by, I noticed that the guy who was very patient and non-aggressive flipped. Now, the other driver did something stupid, but he went right up on their bumper. I bet you he was less than a foot from their bumper, and he was yelling at them. You know, I didn't hear profanity. There may have been profanity, but I didn't hear any. But I've seen how quick he turned. How quickly did this non-aggressive looking individual, behind the wheel that is, turn in to a loose cannon behind the wheel? And how quickly could that scenario turn into a dangerous scenario in our modern day, where people want to flip out and pull a weapon out and start shooting, or whether or not they brake checked him and he runs into their bumper at 35-40 miles per hour. Whatever the case may be, that scenario, it's a righteous indignation, we'll say, because he was responding to something stupid. That person's stupidity made him respond stupidly or unwise, okay? And that turns into what we've been talking about: the fruit of the Spirit, self-control, using wisdom. These are the types of scenarios that wisdom and true wisdom from God will keep you from. Proverbs chapter 2 says, "My son, if you accept my words and store up my commands within you, turning your ear to wisdom and applying to your heart to understanding, and if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, and if you look for it as silver and search for it as a hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom, and from his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He holds victory in store for the upright. He is a shield to those whose walk is blameless, for he guards the course of the just and protects the ways of his faithful ones. Then you will understand what is right and just and fair, every good path. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will protect you, and understanding will guard you. Wisdom will save you from the ways of the wicked men, from men whose words are perverse, who leave the straight paths to walk in dark ways, who delight in doing wrong and rejoice in the perverseness of evil, whose paths are crooked and who are devious in their ways." See, wisdom keeps you from bad scenarios. Wisdom keeps you from reacting in a way that puts you in a bad scenario. Even if the person is wrong, even if the situation is wrong that you're dealing with, wisdom will help you deal with it appropriately instead of losing your mind over it. There's all kinds of scenarios where, look, stupidity drives me nuts. I have low patience for stupidity. Okay, people who are lazy, who are hateful, who do dumb things on purpose, right? I have a very low tolerance to that in a lot of ways, but wisdom helps any individual not overreact to that scenario. And that's what we lack a lot of times, is like, we feel so right We feel like we are so right by reacting to somebody's ill will, to somebody's hatefulness, to somebody's stupidity, to somebody's folly, as Proverbs like to call it, right? People who just know better. I mean, like, if I just don't think you know better, I won't overreact. But if I think you know better, if I know that you know better, I'm like, no, this person knows better. They're better than this. It really aggravates me. Really aggravates me, right? Just gets me down deep. And I have to work with myself on that. But that takes wisdom. It takes wisdom to not overreact behind the wheel of a car. When you're driving a weapon, okay? You're driving a machine that can harm people. You're moving this thing at from 35 miles per hour to 80 miles per hour in some manners, right? And the slightest thing can cause a bad problem. So you got to be wise when you're driving. And that's something I think a lot of us struggle with. Not necessarily driving all the time, but overreacting, this knee-jerk reaction to something that's dumb. And that was a good I think a good story, a good analogy for me to see yesterday, is that, like, we just overreact to these knee-jerk reactions to dumb scenarios, to somebody doing something stupid, to somebody doing something, short-sighted or hateful. That's one thing that we got to work on. And while I'm not feeling like we're right, Proverbs 29:11, it says that a fool gives full vent. A fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise man keeps himself under control. Again, self-control is a fruit of the Spirit, and is basically attained with wisdom. So we got to understand wisdom and self-control. Self-control, while it's a fruit of the Spirit, is something that you have that's a wise choice, okay, to control yourself. So wisdom kind of comes in with that. And so something happens in your workplace, something happens in your family, in your marriage, whatever it may be, at church even, that you're like, no, it's not necessary. That's not the way you do this, whatever, right? And it ramps up inside of your spirit. And Jesus said himself that the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. So we just get so boiled over inside that it spews out of our mouth. And we boil over too fast inside, and we start running at the mouth, right? Just everything comes out. And then things come out that we've been holding inside. But that's foolish. A fool vent to his anger. In other words, open up, let it out. But a wise man keeps himself under control. And that's where we really got to work on, being wise enough to keep ourselves under control, and not taking a dumb, bad scenario and making it worse by giving full vent to our anger. That's wise, to keep yourself under control. And I would challenge us to do that. This seems like it's just necessary. Proverbs 14:29 says, a patient man has great understanding, but a quick-tempered man displays his folly. So when you're quick to anger, when you're quick to let it out, when you're quick to do that, you don't show yourself to be wise, you show yourself to be sinful and kind of foolish. Because displays, in other words, you're putting on full display for everybody to see how sinful or how much folly or foolishness you have. But if you keep your mouth shut and calm down, nobody can really say that you're foolish or folly or stupid, or full of folly or stupid or sinful. So let's work on that this week. It's very simple. Let's work on not giving full vent to our anger, not being quick-tempered, but keeping ourselves under control and being wise, whether it be behind the wheel of a car, in your home, in your workplace, in your church, and whatever you're doing. Chill out. It's wise. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have, we do appreciate it. If you have prayer requests, praise reports, or comments, please leave them below. We'd love to hear from you and pray for you, and we do love and appreciate every single one of y'all. So again, chill out. It's wise. My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.